Today's the day. September 6th, huh? Alright then. Widest range ever. Got it. Lights on. Check. 3, 2. Do I need a booster seat now? Whatever. Hello and welcome to KamenRider Blackman, where it's our 1-year anniversary.
Nigga, we made it. Hey.
That's right. On September 6, 2018, KamenRider Blackman, formerly known as the TNT channel, made its debut to YouTube. Inspired by Linkar's Atop the Fourth Wall and the TokuCast, I also wanted to make YouTube videos talking about people in spandex because of how much of my childhood it was. And today, the personification of my childhood is now 88, now 89 videos, 6 full show reviews, and 32 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, when I started, I was expecting a bit more. But for what I have right now, I would just like to say thank you for everyone who is subscribed, who watches my videos. I truly am thankful for what I have right now because honestly, I didn't think I would come up this far, or heck, I didn't think I'd be still doing this or celebrating my 1-year anniversary like right now. But I am, and as I am, let's take a moment right now to reflect back on the year and see what I've done so far. I've been doing series by series reviews, which by the way, since Zeo's over, I got to wrap that up right now. And now realized I spilled water on myself. Happy anniversary. I've also been looking at shows, doing full show reviews. And one of the things I would like to do more is spread out more content, not just in tokusatsu, but in different genres in general. Speaking of like in anime, like from earlier on when I was reviewing episodes of Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Gridman. But with all that taken into account, how exactly am I going to celebrate this tremendous occasion? I could look at the Green with Evil saga from Mighty Morphin. I could look at the White Light saga from Mighty Morphin. I could review the Ninja Quest saga from Mighty Morphin. I just want to do... What do I really want to do for my 1-year anniversary to celebrate that I have been doing this now? Well, guess what? I did a poll a couple of months ago online, and we're going to be reviewing 2 episodes of Saban's Masked Rider. Now, we're going to be looking at episodes 2 and 3 of Masked Rider. And to catch everyone up on where we are in story, or if you just haven't heard of it in general, Saban's Masked Rider is the American adaptation of KamenRider Black RX, which we will look into in the future, since I have seen the show so far. Masked Rider is about a teenage alien named Dex from the planet Edenoi who is given superpowers from his grandfather to fight his evil uncle Count Dragon, as Edenoi has been taken over by Dragon, and now he has his sights on Earth. And I just now realized that I misspelled sights while I was typing this. Ew. Dex follows after him, and once he gets to Earth, he's adopted by a human family, which already has 2 adopted children. There's Molly, the oldest, who is around Dex's age, Albie, the youngest son, and is a black kid, to which, by the way, the 2 of them are adopted, and their parents are Hal and Barbara Stewart, a white guy and an Asian woman. This is what they look like. And now try to remember what porno you've seen before with an overweight white guy and an Asian woman.
Oh, she likes fat guys.
Yeah, and that's Furbus, a Furby monstrosity, and yes, I do find him creepy. Now, to start with the show, we're starting off at episode 2. So, first things first, let's talk about the opening and how it is not very good, how it's very generic. It sounds like I'm hearing the national anthem just in chopped up grains, because you just hear this national anthem style. I don't know. You feel like it feels like I'm listening to the national anthem, and it's just so eh. As well as hearing after that, well, along with it, Mask Rider, Mask Rider. Not so much of a great opening, since it's just a, I don't know, white noise machine. I'm assuming. Anywho, coming off from episode 1, Dex runs outside and transforms into Mask Rider. I'm not gonna reveal my thoughts on the suit right now. I'm gonna save it for when I get to RX. So Dex transforms into Mask Rider right in front of Molly and Albie, and he does so because there's a monster attack, and he tends to it. So let's take a moment right now to talk about the villains. There's Count Dragon, of course, Dex's uncle, but there's also Nefaria, who I also thought was played by Candice Kitka, who plays Barbara, but unfortunately I was wrong. Also, this is Candice Kitka. She's hot. There are some other villains there, but I don't really bother to remember their names, really. But all I can remember was one that was annoying, just because all he did was rhyme a lot.
Your posturing seems to me unsound. Remember, Prince Dex, you've not yet vowed.
I know I'm being annoying, and then white noise.
The monster attack is so catastrophic that the high school of the show, Leewood High School, is being used as a shelter. Back with Dex, he has a problem with the monster, but overcomes it with the rider kick. Dex beats the monster and is exhausted afterwards. Did the rider kick take that much energy out of him or something? Because he did win, so why does he look like he was defeated? Anyway, Furbus, however, can just find him. Like, when he hears the command, go find Dex, he automatically just finds him.
Is it like Kyoryuger? When you have a Zudenshi on hand, a giant dinosaur will come to you in the form of Deus Ex Machina?
Molly and Albie help him up, and Dex gets up and leaves to shake off how overwhelmed he is right now. So he walks to a rock quarry and talks to his grandfather via telepathy, whatever communication through telekinesis. Whatever. They're talking through mind language. And, okay. Here's the next part about this. His grandfather does give him good advice to remember remember that he can do this. So here's what the next thing he does is. Dex is an alien. He has a button on his head to signify that.
He creates a motorcycle and a car. He creates out of nowhere a motorcycle and a car. A motorcycle and a car with sentience.
Is this war with Dragon possibly a religious debate, since the people of Edenoid are gods that can create life?
Oh, God, it chokes you up, doesn't it? Oh, now don't start with the sarcasm.
Yeah, and said sentient vehicles are Combat Chopper and Magno. You really know you're part of a Power Rangers ripoff series? if you're a bike named Combat Chopper, and you foreshadow the events of Power Rangers Turbo by having a Street Vogue accent. And Magno just makes me uncomfortable because, well,
Feel free to check out the merchandise tags.
what does that mean?
Feel free to check out the merchandise tags.
After the first asexual conception was over, Masked Rider heads off to the high school where, oh my god, it's the Attack of the Cheetos! These monsters are called maggots. They're the minions of this show. Now, they cause a panic at the high school, then afterwards have a food fight. Clearly, they're on their lunch break. I buy it. Masked Rider encounters them and spends more time talking than fighting.
Alright, come on. They're all. Alright, I'm tired of playing games with you pets. I'm just about. Hey, cable for 3?
Masked Rider, 20 years later, would join the Power Rangers Megaforce. Masked Rider beats them, then heads out again to face the final monster of the episode. How much longer is this gonna go on exactly? Like, this is just me from watching the episode, but now it's been going on for a bit too long, event at a time. Like, first there was a monster. Then we learned that people from Edenoi can reproduce and conceive transportation. And then Masked Rider debuts at the school, and now more monsters. Although I will admit though, how the monsters of this show are created by dropping a small figure down a hatch and sending it to Earth, and boom, it's alive. That's nice. The second monster this time goes after Combat Chopper and Dex, and the monster almost kills them if Magno hadn't shown up.
Better fasten your seatbelt.
That car better know what a condom is. So Dex's second finisher is pulling out an electro saber and shooting the monster with a laser, as opposed to stabbing the monster. That is, if you've seen Black RX. That I find to be actually a pretty weak finisher. Just because it's a sword, so naturally you're gonna want to just stab the monster to death and beat him there, not just shoot a laser from it. Then after like one shot is fired at it, there's a big explosion, and then he jumps out of the way as if he did stab the monster, although he really didn't. And therefore, there was no real reason for him to jump out the way. So, yeah. Weak. Anywho, after the monster is defeated, the episode ends with Dex coming home and getting adopted by the Stewart family.
It does seem strange, doesn't it? Well, it's just been the last few days, though. It must be pollen or something.
Furbus, you're going to eat your vegetables and you're gonna like them. Episode 3 starts off with ripping off Trick's cereal.
Dex, you want to try something new? Treat ya?
Silly squirrel. Frosty Puffs are for kids.
Next thing you're going to tell me is that in the Disney universe, the blackberry is called black cotton. So, Dex is getting ready for his first day of school, and for a backpack, he has a duffel bag as opposed to a regular bag. Anywho, Furbus stows away in the bag, and yeah, episode subplot there. Count Dragon, just like Lord Zed and Rita, finds inspiration for their plans by basically spying on teenagers.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping.
They'll eventually send a monster to get Dex alone to destroy him there. The monster they'll use will impersonate the driving teacher, Mr. Lee. More on that later. Now it's time for the martial art of hand modeling.
Who let you out from under your rock?
After that, Furbus breaks out of Dex's bag and runs about, and Dex now runs after him.
Purpose? Kumi Kumi Lon.
Furbus Goonie Goo Goo. Props to anyone who gets that reference. The imposter finally gets Dex alone, and they go for a driving lesson. Meanwhile, at the school,
Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Help! I'm in bed! Mr. Lee, who did this to you? They had claws for hands, like giant insects!
funny thing about that is, laughing at a high school teacher tied up and in his underwear today by the entire student body, that would so happen in real life, and no one would even bother to help them. Anywho, back at the lesson, the imposter tricks Dex into getting on top of the car and driving off with him on the hood. And this editing job is immediately terrible, because in the stock footage, which they did not edit very well, you can clearly see Kotaro's face up close.
Do not, Mr. Lee. Do I look like a Lee?
You do not want an answer to that question.
Ecto, phase, activate.
Ecto, phase. Stella. Stella.
MaskRider fights the monster, and the monster soon exposes itself. They fight, and MaskRider soon once again does a glorious two-legged rider kick. Two-legged rider kicks are always amazing. Shadow Moon has said so. After the monster goes down, it gets back up, and it upgrades, only for Combat Chopper to arrive, and the monster dies in a jousting accident.
You are a bad Furbus. From now on, you stay at home. Understand?
Next episode, Furbus gets put down. Or so I wish. Anywho, these episodes are pretty mild for the most part. I'm not very far in the show yet, to which I can consider it bad, but it's not that all. But these two episodes aren't that If anything, they're both pretty cringeworthy at moments, either by looking at Furbus, the plot, or the straight up fact that he made a car out of nowhere. I'm sorry, that's such a deus ex machina. The fact that he immediately has the power to create a car. Anywho, my point is, this show is very cringeworthy, while it also dances on the line of being generic. It's basically like watching an episode of Mighty Morphin, but the stereotypes and generic ideas and whatnot are kicked up a lot more. Although we're not focused on an entire cast, but one person, but still with everything else around it. Like, for starters, generic high school name, Leewood High School. And what else is there? The villain is just in generic, like I said, generic high school, generic settings, overall generic plot, really. There are some other characters that are part of the show too, but I didn't really mention them for the most part because they don't really matter. If anything, there's Patsy, the generic, like, enemy of Molly, because high school, girls, whatever. And then her sidekick, I guess, who has a crush on her, Herbie, who I honestly believe is the gay love child of Bulk and Skull. So think about that. My point is, these two episodes are mild for the most part. It's still very early on, and I'm not too sure if I would watch any more. They're not bad, but that doesn't mean that they're still not mediocre in some areas. Anywho, those are my thoughts so far on at least these two episodes of MaskRider. And with that said, this has been something that I have been planning and needed to do for Well, I knew about this for like a month in advance, which is why I didn't really do anything special in August. Anywho, and yet I still managed to do this all at the last minute. Maybe next year I'll be more on time with things. Anywho, happy 1 year anniversary, KamenRider Blackman. Thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. As going into year 2, I'll make sure to post more consistently now and look forward to my next videos. Speaking of which, finally next week to celebrate the back to school season, KamenRider Forze. Tune in. Happy anniversary, KamenRider Blackman. See ya.